We're going to be talking about how to find radian, or how to go back and forth between radians and degrees, how to find coterminal angles, and to talk about what quadrant these angles are going to fall in. So we're going to go through a couple different practice problems, and then I'm going to have you guys do some practice problems on your own. This is not too hard of a concept. You guys should have covered this in Math 3. So here, anytime that we see pi involved, that means that it's in radians. Anytime that we see the little circle right here, that means it's in degrees. So that helps us figure out what we need to be converting to or from. Since I have radians here, I want to change it to degrees. So to go from radians to degrees, I'm going to multiply by 180 over pi. So this is just a conversion factor. Whenever we do that, these pi's are going to cancel out because one's on the top and one's on the bottom. Then I have 180 divided by 12. Sorry, let me get my calculator. 180 divided by 12, that gives me 15 degrees. The other way that you can convert these, just to save a little bit of space, is anytime that you see a pi, you can replace that with 180. So for this one, 16 times 180 over 3. Because the pi's are just going to cancel out at the end of this anyways, so if you want to just convert it that way, you can. And that gives us 960 degrees. We're just going to do a couple more just so you can see what these look like. So, 7. This is in radians, so to go to degrees, we're going to replace that pi with 180 divided by 8. So 7 times 180 divided by 8 is, 7 times 1. Is 157.5 degrees. And for this last one, 19 times 180 divided by 9. And that gives us 380. So when we go from radians to degrees, all we do is replace the pi with 180. Whenever we come over to these, each of these are in degrees. To go from degrees to radian, we're going to multiply each number by pi over 180. Now when we do this, that would give us 10 pi over 180. All we're going to do is go into our calculator, 10 divided by 180. So we type in everything but the pi, it's going to give you a decimal. If you press math, fraction, it's going to give you what the fraction is. So we reduce our fraction to 1 pi over 18. And we're going to want to reduce the fraction on every single one of these. So here we're going to multiply by pi over 180. I'm going to type 84 divided by 180 into my calculator. Math, fraction, and that gives me 7 pi over 15. And I'm going to do the same thing for my next two. So I'm going to multiply by pi over 180 equals, when I type that into my calculator, I get 2.5 as my decimal. Math fraction, that gives me 5 pi over 2. And then for this last one, multiply by pi over 180. And in our calculator, we never type in that pi, we're just going to type in the number. So 4,320 divided by 180, that's just an even 24. So we have 24 pi. I want you guys to do both sections over here. So you guys are going to do all of these remaining practice problems. So the first row, you're going to go from radians to degrees. The second, you are going to go from degrees to radians. The next thing that we're going to talk about is positive and negative coterminal angles. Positive and negative refers to the direction that you turn something. And with these, I always like to think about skateboarding or snowboarding or things like that where you have some tricks. So if I take my paper clip, if I turn it 360 degrees clockwise, it's still at 306. It's in the exact same place. That didn't move it anywhere different. If I spin it 360 degrees in the other direction, it comes back to the same place. So what a positive and negative coterminal angle is talking about is something that's either 360 degrees clockwise or 360 degrees counterclockwise away from it. Now, when we work with degrees, we normally go in a counterclockwise direction. So this is positive. Negative would look like this. So to get our positive or negative coterminal angles, we're going to have to either add 360 or subtract 360. So here, to get my positive, I'm going to add 360. So 360 plus 25 is 385. And to get my negative coterminal angle, I'm going to do 25 minus 360. That gives me negative 335 degrees. For 195, I'm going to do the same thing. 195 minus 360, that's negative 165. And then 195 plus 360 is 555. So you either add 360 or subtract 360. It doesn't matter how big or how small the number is, you do the same thing either way. Now, when we get down here to these fractions, the fractions actually get a little bit more challenging because we have to work these a little bit different ways. One thing that we're going to be learning tomorrow is 360 degrees is equal to 2 pi radians. Now, looking at these numbers on paper, 360 and 2 pi look absolutely nothing alike. But these two, they are equivalent when we think of degrees versus radians. So here, with each of these, we're going to either have to add 2 pi or subtract 2 pi. So to start off with, I'm going to type 5/9 into my calculator. To add 2 pi, I'm going to add 2. Remember, we don't want to type our pi into the calculator. Math, fraction, enter. So, my positive coterminal angle would be 23 pi over 9. To get my negative coterminal angle, 5 divided by 9, that's 5/9, minus 2. Math, fraction. Oops, sorry, I hit it multiple times. So this case, our negative coterminal angle would be negative 13 pi over 9. So I just type the fraction piece into my calculator and add 2, then hit math frac, or subtract 2 and hit math frac. So 17 divided by 5 minus 2. I don't know why I did minus first. Let me do that again. 17 divided by 5 plus 2. And then we hit math, fraction. That's 27 over 5. So 27 pi over 5 For my negative coterminal angle, 17 divided by 5 minus 2, math, fraction. And that gives us 7 pi over 5. It's okay if the negative coterminal angle is positive. That's fine. We just want to go up 360 and down 360. Or up 2 pi and down 2 pi. Check out one more video to figure out what we're going to talk about. Actually, we'll save the rest for tomorrow. So make sure that you guys do the remaining problems. So you guys have 4 degree conversion, radian to degree conversions, 4 degree to radian conversions, 2 positive and negative coterminals that are degrees, and 2 positive negative coterminals that are radians. So I want you guys to practice those today. Tomorrow we're going to be going into our unit circle, and that's going to feed into section 3 on these notes, and we're going to talk about the unit circle tomorrow. If you need a blank copy of your notes, it is attached to this page. Thank you, and let me know if you guys have any questions.